Good morning. How are you guys? I'm Dr. Liz Jenkins with drlizcoaching.com. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hey, today I'm following up with part two of really how to take conflict, whether you're single, and you're engaged in a relationship, newly dating, or long time married, and feeling like this is an endless loop that we always do. Learn how to take conflict, identify it, identify how you're showing up, and turn it into a conversation instead of a fight. And it's true, you can do it. It's actually quite simple if you have the right tools, if you know how to apply them. So yesterday we talked about the 6 types of conflict. There was criticism, defensiveness, contempt, and the fire and the ice part of the fights, right? Okay, so we're going to go back in, and today we're going to take each of those, and I'm going to tell you what to swap it for so you can show up better in that conversation, aka potential brewing fight. Your homework was to identify or think about which ones and how you are showing up in that fight, what you bring to the table, what is your style. All right, so here we go. So instead of criticism, that snarky judgment stuff, what we want to do is we want to flip it, and it becomes a concern and a complaint. And what that means is that we lead in with how this situation, how they're doing something or not doing something impacts you. And so it's a concern, it's a complaint. And that gets them to understand the why it really hurts you, why you're wanting it to stop or change. Also, it's not all about them. For many of us, we're just mad and we start grumbling and complaining. And I really like the exercise when we start to say, how does this impact me? And so then we can decide, is this something that we really want to fight about? Or is this something that we're just in this rut, or we have unrealistic expectations or whatever? So identifying how it impacts me. So for example, if I was walking through and I was being judgmental about how they parked the car in the garage, and like, geez, you're way over the line and they're not lined up straight. And if you have the little ball that hangs in the garage, some people do, like, you just totally miss that. And so I'm rah, rah, rah. That could be mean I'm picky or I'm just a little, OCD that they were over the line. But if I gave them my concern or my complaint, it might sound a little bit like this, like, hey, hon, the other day when you parked your car in the garage, and I said, hey, hon, it's a soft startup. Soft startups are huge and wonderful. And I highly encourage them. But I don't know if you realize this, but when you park the car like over the line like that, it makes it really, really hard. I can't get in the car on my side, and I had to go around to the passenger side and kind of climb up and over the console to get in my car. Or when it went that far up, I wasn't able to get around the front of the car to get to the trash or the freezer or whatever like that. Now you're letting them know what they did and the impact it had on you. And most times, folks are like, oh, geez, I didn't realize that, and they'll switch it around and change it. Now it's a conversation. It's not a conflict, right? Okay. Number 2 was defensiveness. And I talked about defensiveness being the way we explain ourselves all over the place. And then this is this, and this is the reason why, and I had to this, and I was in a hurry. And what we want to do, instead of defending, we want to be able to go into their emotions and into their feelings at that moment, and acknowledge what the person was feeling. So if I was the one that parked the car, and my hubby or my whomever came up to me and said, hey, I really hate the way you parked the car. It made it really, really tough to get in, and I couldn't get around the car. What I want to do is, instead of explaining that I was in a hurry and I just spilled my tea all over me. And so I just rushed in and I forgot to come out. Instead of going all that, well, someone says, it sounds like you're really, really upset, or I'm sorry that it was so hard. It sounds like it was very frustrating for you to get into the car when it was parked that way. And I'm really sorry about that. Okay, I'm just going into the emotion. I'm acknowledging their mood 9 times out of 10. Again, that diffuses the situation and people I can kind of breathe. Okay, they heard it. It was really, really tough. And I was in a hurry and I had to climb all over the seat. And I'm a big person and I can't get over the seat very easy. They go, okay, they get it. And then you can come to solution. And then you can come to compromise. But you just diffuse that. All right. Number 3. That was the contempt. It was where we ooze all sorts of nonverbal and verbal eye rolling. Oh my God, not this again. You know, this stuff, turning away, tapping on a thing. All right. We want to get rid of that. Right? What we want to be able to do is identify what emotions that we're having that we're not expressing. And instead of that nonverbal, we want to be able to say, this is really hard for me to sit here and wait. This is really feeling frustrated and I'm feeling like the urge, like I need to just get up. We want to identify the emotions that we're having and we want to be able to express those to them. And so if you're the person that would kind of like sighing and shaking their head, what we want to be able to do is catch those triggers conversations in that moment and be able to say, you know what, I just want to stop here a second. But this is now I'm understanding this is what really sets me off. And maybe it's you or maybe it's not you kind of thing, but this is what's setting me off. I hear the same excuse, same thing over and over, and it feels to me, I use the word feels to me that we don't make progress. And that's where I start going like shaking my head like, oh no, not this again. So we want to identify the feelings and the words that are being said that triggers us to go into this nonverbal but verbal and hostile attack. Okay, finally, the fire and ice people. We talked about the fire people get real loud, real fast. And the ice people tend to get flooded, or they withdraw, or they leave, or they disappear into their phone, or they lose their voice. Okay, what we want to do, the way to fix this, if this is for you, and most of us have a physiological response that sometimes helps us lose the intelligent part of our brains and go back into the primitive part. What we want to do is we want to have each and every one of us identify and start being mindful and practice the breathing and practice the techniques to get ourselves calm. And knowing what you need, knowing that you're a fire person and you start to get really mad and getting agitated, being more in tune with where you're at, and then you yourself calling that time out. I love, I just need to take a break right now, and establishing it now in existing relationships, going into it in new relationships. Maybe you're dating and you're on the phone and you're texting and they're starting to say things that really upset you and piss you off, right? Stop. It's okay. Just say, hey, I need to take a break, and I'll be I'll reach out to you in a little bit. Take that break because nothing else good is going to come. Trust me. All right, it just escalates. If you're the ice person, instead of being the one that ghosts and goes, and then they start this complete stream of intense text messages. What's wrong? Where are you? And it escalates on their side because I see this a lot. You want to see conflict styles? Check out your text messages. It's not just the face-to-face stuff, guys. I'm just saying. So grab your cell phones and text messages and start looking at some of those conversations. But if you are an ice person and you get hurt or flooded or upset, take the break. Hey, I just need to take a break. Let's just time out. Or this isn't going anywhere really productive. I need some time to think. All right. And if you're that type of person that gets so frozen in the moment or so angry in the moment, maybe you save some little text templates and you just pull them up and put it in there. That's your nice, calm, logical brain that's there, and it's putting something good and assertive, but non-confrontational. And boom. Hey, I just need to take some time and calm down or step away, and then I'll be back in touch. Okay. In fact, I have a little cheat sheet on some text messages that might be of use, so we'll be talking about that soon. All right. So come prepared. Know your style. Know how you show up. Study past relationships. Study past conflicts if you're in a current dating or current marriage, committed relationship, look at your styles. How do you show up? Look at your text messages. What do they look like? All over the place, or is there some consistencies? Because I bet there are. And that's one of the things that, whether I'm working with someone that's single or single again, or someone alone in a relationship or a couple, I start going back and we can pretty easily identify and these disrupting patterns, and start showing up better, clearer, and have the relationship, well, at once you just get alignment in yourself and have the calm and confident you, calm and confident, yes. And then you can go into a relationship, should you two, or show up better in the relationship that you're in, being strong, being assertive, being loving, being true to yourself, and the best you can in the relationship. So, homework. See what you can swap out. You got some of the swaps. I want you to go back, pick your style, and see what you could swap. Go back and do a forensic on some of the other conflicts. Dissect your text messages and see where it started to escalate, right? Take care. I will talk to you soon. DM me. I'd love to chat more with how you're doing and things that I can help with. Bye-bye.